Are you ready for an oil change? I don't know. I think so. Welcome to the Superpilotish channel. My name is Graham Wilson, and today, in my basement, I will not be doing an oil change, but I'm just going to see if I'm ready for it. And you know what? My dehumidifier just went off. I'll be right back. Well, that's a good example of how things don't always go exactly right every time you want. So, anyways, hey, Dan, welcome to the chat. Okay. So, are you ready for an oil change? Well, I know for a fact that I like to change the oil change, do an oil change on my motorcycle every fall. So, the plan there is that I get the oil change all done or whatever maintenance I have to do. So, in the springtime on that really nice day, it's like, all right, she's all ready to go. And hey, Nefarious, I see you popping in here too. Yeah, so the way that I figure out what maintenance do I have to do is because I don't know if it's like anal retentive or OCD or just being a BMW owner. You got to have your. I got a repair manual here. What do we got here? My little BMW. If you can read that. A little bit of a glare. Oh no. Oh, what do we got? Oh, the glare we got. Okay, 1999 BMW R1100S repair manual. It's getting a little bit faded, but yeah. So I downloaded a PDF of the manual, and then I went to the print shop and had it all printed out. So I got the actual paper copy of it, and so it's like if you're out in your garage. And then, like nowadays you could look at YouTube videos and do things on your phone, but then you're going to be doing, getting grease and everything all over the place. So, but that way, if you got like the paper manual, then there we go. You got your nice grease fingers all over the paper and you look like a real mechanic. So, oh yeah, Wrench is wondering, I thought I had a Volkswagen. I do have a Volkswagen Golf car, but we're talking motorcycle maintenance today. So, and here we go. So I made up this little maintenance log that just like, I don't know, what would you call that? Spreadsheet, something. Anyways, I got some fields here and there, and I just write down what maintenance I do every year. And then, okay, I have kind of 3 columns. Okay, I got this idea from airplanes because every airplane has to have a maintenance log. You got to record what gets done on the plane. And so, see if I can show you this here. Okay, so I just made this up, maintenance log, 1999 BMW R1100S. So we got the date, and the action that I did, the next time it's due, and then different comments. Okay. So, oh, hey, Shecky, nice to see you popping in. So when did I get this? I guess I got the bike in 2015, and I did, what do we got here? A gearbox oil change. Oh, so there we go. Pretty cool. Maybe I started my maintenance in 2016. Yeah, I got the bike in 2015. That's right. So I'm checking at the bottom here. What do I got to do for the fall? Make sure she's all ready to go for the spring. So what do we got to do? One other thing. I'll just look under the next due column. Okay, oil change, fall 2023. Looks like that's it. No, I thought I had to do some clutch fluid change. Oh, I should be doing that too. I think I missed that last year. And then brake fluid stuff. I usually try to flush my brake fluid. Looks like I didn't do that last year. Oops, busted. So, anyways, I got quite a bit to do here. And then, oh, I didn't do the gearbox oil either. Oh man, I was really lazy last year. Man, what was that all about? Oh well, I guess you find out if you're if you're slacking in the maintenance department. But whatever, it's still written down. I won't forget. That's one of the things about if you're doing maintenance annually or more than annual that you're supposed to, then if you make little notes in your your book or whatever, then you can kind of say, oh, okay. Well, it looks like I got kind of a big job ahead of me to do multiple things here. Gearbox oil, final drive oil, brake fluid flush. Ooh, geez, I got a lot to do. I guess I was just all lazy last year. Nah, whatever. And the most important thing there is getting the oil changed, though. That's, I mean, for how much I ride my motorcycle, nah, big deal. So there we go. Am I ready? I'm past due for my. So here we go. Am I ready to do maintenance? Are you due? Yes, I'm due and past due for some maintenance items. But oil change, that's the most important. Oil and filter. Okay, well, what else do I got? I got to do all that stuff, man. Okay, well, let's see if I'm ready for it. Okay, and then, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to see if I have all the parts I need for that. So I usually try to keep things in stock, but I don't know. I guess if I'm lazy about if I'm missing a few maintenance items here and there. Now, I wouldn't be doing that on an airplane for sure, because then it's illegal to go flying. Okay, do I have the parts? Do you have the parts? Okay, I checked out in the garage. Okay. All right. Do I have the parts? I checked out in the garage when I usually keep this manual out in the garage, and I do have enough oil to do the oil change. I use 10W40, which is almost impossible to buy nowadays. It's like everyone goes synthetic, and I've heard various things about the synthetic oils in like older bikes. It can be weird, do weird things with seals and everything like that. So I just kind of stick to the regular, what the book says. The book says 10W40. So we'll stick with that. Unless they stop making it, then I'll do something else. And then if you ever do want to think about, you're changing oil in your car, even like what type of oil do you use? I usually just go whatever the engineers at the factory said. I'm sticking with the engineers on that one. So, and then, okay, well, what do we got to do here? It's, man, actually, it's getting kind of warm in the basement here. All right. I'm taking off the shop coat. I was trying to look all, what do you call it? I don't know, all mechanical today, but I'll just take that off. It's getting too hot. And that's weird because I'm not going to do the oil change on my bike today because it's too cold out there still. I think I'm going to do that probably Thursday or something. I got potatoes I got to take out of the garden today. Lots of stuff. Well, not that much, but enough for me. And okay, so what do I got to do here? Let's take a look at the list. It looks like I slacked off on. Okay, well, let's just start with the most important thing first. How's that sound? Okay, oil change. What do I got to do? Comments, 10W40 Castrol, and apparently it takes about 2 hours with brakes. Okay. I always like to take lots of breaks when I do my oil changes and stuff like that. Well, you got to let it drain, so you have a coffee or whatever other beverage you like. And so I got whenever I go out to do my maintenance on my bike or car, for the motor, we'll stick with the motorcycle today. And I got underneath my workbench here, I keep a bunch of tools, but I got this bad boy. I think I showed this in another video before. It's heavy, but I got this great big monster set of like sockets and wrenches and stuff. So I take that one out. I got that one, and I don't know if I ever showed you guys. I got this big old red toolbox. So I keep all my motorcycle stuff in this one toolbox. So do I have what I need for an oil change? Okay, let's see. And that's another thing. Like I make notes and things like that here. Because if you're only doing maintenance once a year, you're going to forget things. So I have it actually bookmarked here for an oil change under red. Okay, what do I got to do for the oil change? What do I need? Okay, I even and the thing is with the book or the manual, it tells you step by step what to do, and so that's a great it's a great help. But sometimes you do stuff that's not exactly like the manual because you don't use the BMW special super expensive tool. So I need 8mm hex. Okay. Yeah, like here it says use oil filter wrench BMW number blah 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 to remove the oil filter. So I don't use the factory oil filter on that. I am a fan of. Let's see if I have it in stock. Okay, we got the K&N. Boom, right there. A little greasy, but there we go. K&N. Yeah, I bought a 6-pack of these things a while ago. Do I have any more? How many do I got? Okay, I'm down to 2. So once I'm on my last one, I should probably order another 6-pack. But yeah, so I do have the right one. And the cool thing about these K&N filters, I'll just show it to you. It's kind of cool that they have them kind of sealed for freshness, you know. So right here, okay, it's black, looks cool, classic, matches my motorcycle, but it's got like that little plastic covering over top of where the filter is in there, and so that'll keep any dust or any dirt or I don't know mouse droppings or whatever out of it, and that's cool. And it's also got on the bottom just it's got a hex there, so you can just get a regular wrench on there. And according to the book, I use a 17mm socket for that. There we go. Okay, and I know I got that in my box. So there we go. I'm a fan of the K&N. So far, it's been working for me for a few years. And then you don't need the special, like when I first got the bike, it had a factory BMW filter on it. You kind of you stick it underneath, you screw it in like that, and it has like these little I don't know indents on here that you would put your special wrench on. So I'm using that one. Sorry, BMW, you're not getting my money. K&N, we'll get that. Okay, we'll put that right back in the box. And then how much do you torque it up with? Hey, get yourself a torque wrench. Keep it right in the box there. Okay, that's the only time I ever use a torque wrench is on my motorcycle, pretty much. Yeah, and you got to tighten it too. Oil filter, 11 Newton meters. Okay, so we're draining now. If we're going to be draining out the oil, what do we use here? Remove oil drain plug and drain off oil. Okay, so I need an 8mm hex for that. I got that in the box. But when you're putting it back in, what's it say here? I know you need a special washer for that. They call it a crush washer. Do I have any of those in stock? I keep all my engine oil drain plug. Okay, yeah, so I keep my little, there you go, engine oil drain plug. And those are the little washers I use for that. I must have bought a few of them. Yeah, and these are aluminum. They call them crush washers. So when you get just a little guy like that, and when you torque it, you tighten it up there enough, it squishes it. Squishes the aluminum because aluminum is softer than steel, like the steel bolt. And then, yeah, it makes a nice seal. You're all good. And I have reused these before, but I'm not a big, if in a pinch you can reuse them maybe once, but nah, not gonna. I got a bunch in backup there, so that's cool. So I got my oil. So I do have the parts for that. I got the filter, I got the crush washers, I got all my tools I need, and oil drain plug, 32 Newton meters. Okay, there we go. I got my torque wrench right in the box. Very cool. All right, what else we got here? Now the thing is too, I was thinking about doing the actual oil change on my bike while doing it on the show, and I could consider that like multitasking. But then I was like, sometimes if you're multitasking doing stuff like that, it can take you like a lot longer. So like say I want to do a 20-minute, half-hour show, something like that here. And then maybe it takes, according to my research, it takes 2 hours to do an oil change. Rather than 2.5 hours, it might take 3 because I got to set the camera up and do all this other stuff. So I don't know. And it's a little cold out there, like I said today. Okay, what else we got here? I have to do, because I was slacking, okay, the gearbox oil. think. Okay, and I got to do the. I got to flush the front and rear brakes. Okay, now I'm going to show you something here too. For okay, we'll stick with oils and then we'll get to the brake fluid stuff. Okay, I know I got gearbox oil out there, and okay, what did I write there? Oh, here we go. From 2020, it looks like I did gearbox oil, final drive oil, and an oil change, and that took 3 hours with brakes. Okay, good to know. Now I know how much to charge myself. Okay, gearbox oil. Let's start with that. Okay, and here we go. That's next in the book. So gearbox oil, what do I need there? Okay, of course, BMW says use socket head key, BMW number, blah, 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 and torque wrench. So there's like this special BMW socket that you have to buy. It goes on a torque wrench, and it's like looking at this thing, it's like, I don't need that, but I can use a 14 millimeter Allen wrench. Apparently, that's what I wrote down here. And I had to make a special 14 millimeter. I got this at, I think it's 14 mil. Yeah. So, oh yeah, 14 millimeter right on there. So I got this cheapo at Princess Auto, and like it's supposed to come up here. But because I need this special tool to get in between the gearbox and the exhaust, you need like kind of a low profile Allen wrench. So instead of spending $100 or $200 on a special BMW tool, I think I got this for $8. I think it was around $8 at Princess Auto. I took my cutoff wheel for my grinder and then cut that off. It gets really hot. Watch out for that. Then it starts stinking because there's like some paint on there too. And then I kind of ground it all off nice. And it just, I don't know, how much do I have there? That's probably sticking up. Let's see. Let's get all scientific here. All right. So it's sticking up. We'll see how much it's sticking up there. All right. Sticking up. Oh, wow. Did I ever cut that? 900 thou, right on the money. Well, I didn't measure it that way, but yeah, if you have 900 thousandths of an inch, which is just a little bit over, what's that, 7/8, just a little over 7/8. Yeah, and then that'll fit in there nicely to get the drain plug for the gearbox oil off. And there on that one, there is no washer for that. It's just this great big. I was kind of surprised, but yeah, there's no washer on that. You just unscrew it, screw it in, and then it drips all over your exhaust, and it takes you the rest of the day to clean it off. So that's the gearbox. And then what else we got here? And then we have our torque wrench too for that to tighten it up. Oh yeah, and then for that gearbox oil thing, you can't get a torque wrench on that thing, so I just whack it with a hammer. Not too much. It's got this great big lip on it that you probably can't strip it, but just give it a little knock. And then like the way I tighten stuff like that is like tighten it up until you think, okay, I'm not going like a maniac on here. And then if you notice it'll start, it's not going to all gush out all at once. You'll notice like a little drip of oil. Tighten it some more after that. So hey, Dustin's in here too. Hi. Okay, what else we got to do here? Oh, and finally the rear wheel drive. Oh wait, no. That's a gearbox. Oh, the gearbox filler. Okay, so that's another crush washer there too. There's some more, so I got some backup for that. Good for a few years. Very good. And next thing we got to do is our rear drive. So it's like I have a shaft drive motorcycle, so at the back it's kind of like a little differential, like on a truck you see that little differential thing. That's what I got. So, and I got some more of these rear drive oil filler plug and drain plugs. So it's two different crush washers on there, and so I guess that's why I ordered more of them. There we go. So do I have all of my stuff in stock? Yes I do. Okay, so we're good for all that oil. What else do I got to do? This is going to be a big deal. I think I'll probably do this on Thursday. It's supposed to be kind of rainy but warm. So that's a good indoor, in the garage kind of thing. What else do I got to do? Clutch fluid. Oh, the clutch fluid. Yeah, the clutch fluid on my bike, it's the same as the brake fluid, DOT4. And I got some of that out there. And what do I got? Now, there's this really cool thing when you're, if you're ever going to bleed your, I think you can have them for cars, but I know, oh, geez, what do I have? This is not exactly, I thought I had a spare one. Oh, no, here we go. I ordered like the wrong parts. I just kind of kept them in here. But I got to show you this. If you're going to be bleeding your brakes, these are awesome. And I ordered like, I got the wrong ones like all the time, and I didn't bother sending them back. I don't know. But it's this thing called the Speed Bleeder right here. Sponsored by Speed Bleeder. Well, not really sponsored by, but yeah, like I didn't know which type to order for my bike, and I couldn't be bothered sending them back. It's only like I don't know, $20 or something like that. But what these things do is it's got this little check valve in there. I don't know if it shows it. This little ball check valve, and I don't know if you can see that. Oh, you probably can't see it. But yeah, so this is when you bleed, and then I got a little hose here. So you get this bad boy. The way that works is you get this, and this is on your it's on the brakes for your motorcycle. You put this thing over top like so. Ooh, can I do it? Oh, maybe this other end is a little wider. Okay. Whoop. Okay, bad for demonstration purposes. Okay, so I got that sort of on there, and that's kind of sticks on there like that. Then what you do is you unscrew this part here using your quarter-inch wrench. Why do I know that's a quarter-inch? Just because my whole bike is metric, and they said you can only use a quarter-inch on there. And you unscrew that a little bit, and then you pump your brakes, and that shoots out a bunch of oil, or your brake fluid goes through here, and I usually put it in like a little jar or something like that, and you collect it, and then so you're pumping your brake, it's shooting all that in there, and there's like a little ball valve in here where the brake system always stays pressurized. So that's really cool. If you've ever bled brakes before, you got to loosen it off, squish it, tighten it. You do this kind of whole two-handed weird maneuver on a motorcycle, or if you're in a car, you say, okay, pump it, and then someone hits the brakes and you tighten. It could be a two-man job. These speed bleeder things are fantastic. And so all I do is with that is I'll loosen it off, squish, squish, squish. All the old fluid goes through there. I top it up some more, squish, 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 and eventually everything will get replaced with new fluid. Super easy. And then you just like tighten this back up again, take that off. There you go. You're all cool. It is fantastic. I highly recommend the Speed Bleeder if you got a motorcycle. Like I think it would work on cars too, but I don't know. I didn't really look at it. Okay, yeah, I bought the wrong kinds here because my bike originally had ABS, anti-lock brake system on it, but whoever got it before me, they took the anti-lock brake system off and replaced it because the BMW anti-lock brake system for $19.99 was weird. It's basically the brakes wouldn't work unless the engine was running or unless the ignition was on or something like that. So yeah, it was this weird electronic kind of thing, majiggy. And yeah, it's weird. So they just got rid of that whole unit and they just turned it into a conventional braking system. So I can lock them up if I need to. Lay down a good patch. Okay, so that's a little bit about braking or changing brake fluid. You guys are still hanging around. Cool. Another thing, if you want to, just for kicks, what do I have in here just to show you? Well, show and tell. I got my torque wrench. I don't really keep a whole lot in here. I keep like some original parts. When I bought my bike, it had this kind of cruise control type thingy. I don't know. I took it off. Didn't really want it. And when I replaced my hand grips, I got my old. These are the old grips, or something like that. Oh no, that's what. Yeah, there was some weird thing I had to get because on my bike was weird. I couldn't just get a set of grips. I had to get because the two handlebars have a different diameter on them, so I had to get like two sets. So this one, these handle grips, the grips for my motorcycle that I replaced, they're all rubber. But these would fit on my bicycle if I wanted. But I don't know. I'm not going to throw it out. Paid some money for it. Might come in handy one day for something. And the other cool thing that I like to do for my motorcycle, for my little motorcycle toolbox, is I keep a key for it. So I got my motorcycle key, and does that have BMW right on it? So I can flex. Oh, there we go. BMW flex. Look at that. Here. Let's see if you can see that. Where's the light? Oh, look at that. BMW. Yeah, man. Bayerische Motorwerk #1, man. So we got yeah. So I keep a key in here just because I go out there. I've done it before where I go out there and I don't keep my motorcycle key on my keychain that I normally like cars and house and all that stuff. So it's like I go out there, I'm all ready to go, and I got to move the bike and I got to unlock the steering. Don't have a key, so I just keep an extra key in my box here, and I got everything I need. There you go. Save a few steps. Plan ahead. Okay. Do I have the parts? Yes, I do. What else can I do here? I've described all that. Now I just got to do it. But that's okay. That'll be. I kind of have fun messing around on my motorcycle. I can put everything away. Yep. Because it's, I don't know, one of those Zen and the art of motorcycle maintenance things where it's like you become more one with your motorcycle, man. And okay, we'll put this back in where it belongs. Oh well, I guess I caught myself on my own laziness with that stuff. Okay, I can't do that next year. But yeah, I mean, I hardly ride the bike anyways. I think I spend more time doing maintenance on it than I do, and not even because it's broken. It's just because I just don't ride it that much. But when I do, it's fun. And yeah, here we go. Number 3. Am I ready to do maintenance? Do I have the parts? Yep, I got the parts. Okay, here's another one. Do you have the time? Do you have the time? That sounds like a song. Do you have the time? Have the time. Now, this is one of the things. Do you have the time? I really don't like to rush through doing any type of maintenance work. I don't like to rush about anything, but it's like anytime you rush, that's when you make all your mistakes and everything. And you don't want to be, riding your motorcycle and, oh, I was in a rush when I was bleeding the brakes. And next thing you know, you got no front brake, that does all your stopping power, and I don't know if I ever told you guys, I ran into this dude years ago. He bought this piece of crap old bike and it only had a rear brake on it. Now, some of the older Harleys were kind of like that, but I don't know. I think they were a little bit more heavy and they had more weight on the back wheel, but still, it's better to have a front brake there too. But this guy was like totally brand new to him. Like he didn't have any insurance on his bike. He had like some fake plate on it and no front brake. And I was like, dude, you got to get like legal here. He didn't even have a license or nothing. And I think he lasted a couple weeks till he wiped out. And then next time I saw him, I was like, hey, how's the bike coming along? Oh, I messed it all up when I wiped out. He's got scabs all over it. And yeah, kind of wiped out. I think that guy had the scabs. It's hard to tell. In my mind, like there's all these different bikers that I've met or like young guys that get motorcycles. And when I see them, they got rashes on their face and scabs on their arms and stuff. But luckily, I've been kind of good about that. Knock on wood. Okay, do you have the time? Yeah, and then the other thing there too about having the time is like, are you in the right frame of mind for this? Like I said, if you're in a rush, you're going to make mistakes, or a high probability of making mistakes. And then Yeah, or even if you're like, you're pissed off about something, or I don't know, your girlfriend dumped you and you're all bummed out or whatever happens. And like you can really I mean, that all kind of affects who you are, and that goes into the motorcycle. You manifest things in the motorcycle, man. They could be toxic, or I don't know, you want to call it that, but that whole connection with your motorcycle is like, it's a mental thing. It's just like when you're riding your motorcycle too. That's your state of mind. If you're all in a hurry, now you're going to go too fast. Now you wipe out, or you're daydreaming about something else. And you're not looking at traffic. Like, that's not cool. So, yeah, the same thing goes into the maintenance as it does with riding it, and same with it's exactly the same with flying an airplane. If you're in a hurry doing a pre-flight inspection or something, you might miss something. Ideally, you don't, but that's where mistakes can happen. Or you're thinking about something else and you forget to switch the fuel tanks on your plane, and there you go, you run out of gas or something dumb. It can happen. So make sure you're in the right frame of mind and everything, and don't get too wasted if you're having a few pops there, because it's like, yeah, if you're too drunk, that's not good either. You're all high on weed or something. Wow, my motorcycle's really awesome, man, and then you just you lose all your nuts and bolts and stuff like that. Not cool. But yeah. Anyways, what else we got here? Do you have the time? You got the parts? Nah. Yeah, we'll just say, yeah, we'll just leave it at that. Little simple three thing here. All right, are you ready to do the maintenance? Are you due chronologically? Do you have the parts? I got mine today. And do I have the time? I'm gonna have lots of time when I do that. Probably on Thursday, I think. That should be good. Should be pretty warm. It's gonna be rainy, so I got to be inside anyways. Might as well be hanging out with the motorcycle. Oh, that's another thing too. Oh, yep. You know what? We're gonna add one more thing here. This is another thing that I forgot. I always do this. Make sure make sure you get some good tunes going too. I mean, I always like to put on the radio. I got this old stereo out in the garage, and I just kind of put on the tunes, get to work. It's kind of I prefer classic, like no name, kind of brain dead, common everyday classic rock, and it just kind of, because I've worked as a machinist in for so many years, that everyone had the classic rock station going here in Windsor. If you go to any machine shop in town, they're all listening to 94.7 WCSX from Detroit, and that's just the standard work station, because eventually people try to put their country stations on and more metal stations, and everyone tries to battle, and then one guy turns his radio up louder than the other one, another guy turns his up radio, and then pretty soon the boss is running out. He says, you turn those damn things down. I can hear you all the way in the office, or I'm taking all the radios out of here. Then everybody at lunch kind of says, okay, well, okay, CSX, yeah, CSX, that's okay. So I don't know, I just put that on, and I get into like some kind of weird working machinist mode from the old days, and I find it to be kind of, I don't know, relaxing or calming. So put on whatever tunes you like. All right, cool. That's about it. So now now I just got to do the work. Okay, we'll see if there's any questions or anything like that. Here we go. We're gonna go to the top of the line here. Oh, here we go. Wrench the engineer always has a good thing to say. He writes in the owner's manual, always stays with the car. Yep, that's I had to buy an owner's manual for my Volkswagen when I got it. It was like 175 bucks for the actual paper one, but it comes in a nice little leather little case, or I don't know, little cover for the manual. But I mean, what if you're stuck out somewhere and you got no Wi-Fi on your, there's no Wi-Fi, maybe your data ran out on your phone or something like that, and you're stuck. You need a paper manual to stay with the car. I mean, but I'm kind of I'm kind of old school that way. I read. All right, here we go. This is a good one. So Wrench's daughter made a spreadsheet for maintenance on her Ford Escort years ago. Spreadsheet named Escort Service. That's awesome. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so Shecky was saying here too, you can just bleed the brakes and top off. Yeah, that's all I do. I don't take everything out of the system. I figure, but, yeah, but that's another thing too. If you don't bleed your brake lines, or even like I don't know, like I guess there might be a little bit of old brake fluid left in the system somehow if you're just kind of flushing it through like that. But it's still better than not doing it all, because the first time I bled actually the first time I actually had to do any of the stuff on my bike was I bought it, so I guess that's 2015. Shortly after that, I had to rebuild the rear brake went, and I could see it was actually leaking from the seals in the caliper on the back disc. I'm like, okay, leaky seals. I mean, nothing you can do about that, other than so I had to buy the seals, rip everything all apart, rebuilt all the calipers and seals and everything like that. And it was a mess. And when I was taking out when I was taking the fluid out, there's all these like chunks of rubber and all this goo and everything coming out of there. So I don't think that had ever been bled before or flushed. So, and the other thing with the brake fluid is that moisture builds up in there. It's a type of fluid where moisture can kind of build up. And then that in combination with the brake fluid will kind of rot out the seals. So you always want to keep pretty fresh brake fluid in there, because there was this gross gunk coming out of it. I'm like, how's that supposed to work for brakes? It's been working okay since. So how long has that been? About 7, 8 seasons, something like that. So, okay. All right. And Dan's talking about my potatoes here. Yeah. Oh, that's another thing too. I had great big long potato eyes. And I think I did a video on that where the potato was growing this eye and it just went super long. It was like 6 feet long or some 5 feet long. And so I did an experiment, planted that in the garden, and we're going to find out today when I dig it up if will I have potatoes all the way along for 5 feet, or will it just be up at the end? It only grew some leaves up at the end of that long eye, and where the original potato was there too. Well, yeah, this potato experiment's going to be awesome. So anyways, I actually am kind of curious to see how that's going today, but I'll let you guys know. But yeah, and then if it only grows right at the end of the eye, well, then now I know, and you can just snip it off and it'll grow out of there. We will find out. Thanks for the reminder, Dan. All right. Okay, wrench likes the Fram oil filters and only hand tight, no wrench needed. Okay. Yeah, it's we'll put that back up. For any of the oil filters that I've kind of used before, if you go, kind of hand tight as much as you can, and then go quarter turn, that's pretty much right on the exact torque that you need for it. And you just don't want to over torque it, that's for sure. And if you need to, you can always tighten it up. But yeah, it's usually, they say go until it seats and then give her a quarter turn. Man, that's probably pretty good. Okay. Okay. Dad jokes are allowed. If Wrench had a son, he'd be an Allen Wrench. Okay. All right. Okay. I think we're just about it for any questions, comments, concerns, dad jokes, puns, whatever we got here. Okay, cool. And yeah, great. Okay. What day is today? Today is Monday. So I'll be back on Wednesday. Because I did this Monday, Wednesday, Friday at noon Eastern. And we'll just kind of shut this baby down, and I will put my little tools away and start thinking about digging up some potatoes today. Okay, thanks for showing up, everybody. Thank you for watching. Bye.